Hello again. I'm back. This is my second video of the day. This might be the first one of the two that I actually post. So I don't know which order you're going to watch them, if you watch them at all. Got another quite large book haul here. The other video ran a little longer than I would have liked, so I'm going to try to get through these a little quicker if I can. It's quite a bit. Not as many as some videos I've done or others have done, but still quite a bit. So I'll just let's get right to it, and I'll start showing them off for you. First one I got is Car Kabbalah by George H. Smith. It's an ace double with Lynn Carter's Tower of Medusa. Which might be a good, interesting book too. But the reason I got the Car Kabbalah is another booktuber mentioned that this is kind of like a sequel of sorts to H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds, like in between sequel between that book and Smith's War of the Worlds book, where this takes place in like another dimension or something like that, before the aliens come into Smith's version of the book of War of the Worlds. So I figured, since I got a big H.G. War of the Worlds type book collection, I want to be as complete as I can with that subgroup of books. And because for some reason, War of the Worlds is one of my all-time favorite books. I'm trying to collect everything in that range, and so once I found out about that, I had to have this one. And like I said, this one doesn't sound too bad either. Next is Katana Chetwynd's latest book, Still Smitten, comic. In like an internet comic series of her relationship with her husband. I'm like a sucker for these. I got pretty much all of her books now, and I highly recommend them. These are good wholesome comics, and it's just as good as her others. Next is on the face of it, it looks like a cheap little children's book, Leapy the Leapfrog, by some guy named T.R. Dill, Professor T.R. Dill. This is I would not call this a children. This is in that group of non-children's books that I also collect. I think I've mentioned about those before. It can get very expensive to try to collect these in physical form. There's a lot of online or ebook copies and everything that you have to have them. You can get them that way, because you can get it. I found out there's just way too many of them. Too many people doing these books to try to collect them all like this. So I have to pick and choose which ones I actually physically buy, and they have to be really. And this is what seems like one of the better ones. It's not much text with it, but like I said, still, I wouldn't recommend reading it with too many kids. It can be a little. It can cause some of the younger kids to cry. Let's put it that way. Next is one that took forever to get here for some reason. I don't know why. Forever to get it shipped. It's like 3 months or more, I think. It's Christian Box, Eunoia. I think, yeah, that's probably the best way I can pronounce it. I'm a sucker for like linguistic type books, odd things. And this has got separate chapters where short little paragraph, mostly I guess you can call them paragraphs, little stories, where each one is just uses just one vowel at a time, which is very, I think it's called constrained writing or something like that. So I'm a sucker for stuff like that, and I figured I had a whole book of the little stories or whatever you call them done that way. It has to be interesting. Next is something that's a little odd. It might be a little hard to find. It just, since I collect a bunch of weird horror books and everything, I figured I'd track this one down too. It's called Exorcism by F. Nataz. Yeah. So I just leave it at that. I don't know what else. I guess it's a book about exorcism or something like that. I don't know. I guess I can show you. Don't know if the glare is going to stop you from reading that or not. I'll try to hold that up. I don't know. Hopefully you can read that. Next is a 2-book series of satire or a parody or whatever you call it of the Goosebumps, called Goose Flumps, by a guy he's using the name R.U. Slime. One's called Eat, Cheese, and Barf, and the other one's called Stay Out of the Bathroom. And like I said, I'm a sucker for parody type books too. So there you go. There's that. One is his number 2.5, and the other one's number 4.5. But as far as I can tell, these are the only two that they did, or the guy did. If there are others, I didn't come across them. Another one's been on my one of my book lists on Amazon for a while, and I finally decided to order it. No Place Like Home: Tales from the Yellow Brick Road. Don't know much about it. Just possibly another parody, or satire, making fun of whatever, type book. And like I said, so I figured I'd try that one too. Next is another Matt Shaw book. This one's called Almost Anything, a collection of twisted short horror stories. Yeah. He's I guess he's making fun of stuff from our childhood in this one again, I guess. He's got so many. Like I said, I have to pick and choose which one of his I order, and not everything he puts out is available in physical form. So I have to watch out for that too. Next is a 2-book collection I didn't even know existed until another tuber showed them off. Isaac Asimov's Guide to Science set. Volume 1 and Volume 2, when you put them together, you see the guy's face. Yeah. One is physical sciences, and the other one is biological sciences. I got a lot of his non-fiction stuff, so I figured I had to have these too, especially with that concept. Next, I'll get to some science fiction, it looks like. Robert A. Heinlein, Pod King of Mars. I had a copy of this, but I took it to Goodwill. And then I found out there's a more eye-catchier cover from the English Library. Kind of had to have that then, I guess. And another book that I donated before I found out that I actually would probably like it after finding out the synopsis. Sometimes I don't read those before I donate them. I have to rebuy them. It's Hellstrom's Hive from Frank Herbert. So read that if you can. It's a pretty interesting concept once I found out about it. And another one for Frank Herbert is the Eyes of Heisenberg. Also another one that kind of seems interesting now that I have it. I didn't have this previously, but this one came in another set that I ordered because I tried to get another book, and that one came in it. And another one here, I'm never got around to taking the plastic off of this one. It's mailed in. Don't know why I do that sometimes. This one's got words on it obscuring the cover, so I'm going to have to take it off now. Yeah. Anne Maxwell, Change. They probably could use a better font for the title, because that G looks a lot like a C. Yeah, and makes it look like Chance. But yeah. So yeah, I collect a lot of books based on the covers for some reason. And another one is I don't know if I have any other Tomcat books or not, by Mallory Knight, but I ordered this one. It's called Simus and Tangier. Apparently it's another book about a gas. I got a lot of gas foggy type books, you know. And I seem to collect books on topic, you know, War of the Worlds, gas, like, you know, a bunch of books about various types of gases attacking people, and apparently this is another one like that. Like I said, I got like the non-children's books, you know, all various little subtopics like that. And another couple of books that I just seemed interesting, by Roy Myers, Daughters of the Dolphin and Destiny of the Dolphins. I haven't gotten the first book in the series, The Boy and the Dolphin, yet. Both, yeah, I said Roy Myers. So I don't know if so you got that. Next is a bunch by Thomas Burnett Swan. Seem to be collecting a bunch of his books lately. This one's called Wolf Winter. Then we got Lady of the Bees. Yeah, that doesn't have a synopsis in the back. Then you got The Gods Abide. I'm not sure if this is a satire of the other. Who is it? George Stewart or somebody's got a book by that name, or The God Abides, or whatever you call it. Not or it just happens to have the same title, or nearly the same title. I don't know. Yeah. Then you got another one I've heard about, but I didn't know anything about that he was the author for it or anything. And it's called Will o' the Wisp. So I believe this one's been made into a movie, or probably several movies. And I don't remember ever watching any of them, but I have heard of it. It seemed to be pretty popular. Then you got one by Peter Stafford, The Wild White Witch. Yeah, I'm sorry about the glare. Some of these are in plastic. And I think this is my first Mickey Spillane book. I planned on getting a few of his, but I've apparently I haven't gotten around to it before. This is the erection set. Like I said, sometimes you go by the way the book looks, and you don't stand out on the shelf. Okay. Next, I'll get into some non-fiction books. This one seemed interesting. It's Dreadful Pleasures, the Anatomy of Modern Horror by James Twitchell. Talk book about the horror genre. I'll show you the chapter headings. Give you a little taste of that. Next is 4 Arguments for the Elimination of Television by a guy named Jerry Mander, which is an obvious pseudonym. Which another YouTuber was talking about this and made a pretty convincing point. I'm not sure if you can read that or if it's too much to read. And those are that. And then another philosophy book in the series I collect. This is The Man in the High Castle in Philosophy. They didn't do very many single book descriptions. Usually it's an author or a topic or something they did do, and philosophy. And then I think they did The Princess Bride in philosophy, maybe. There might be one other one that I know of, I don't know. So I guess The Man in the High Castle is a good enough book to do that with. And my legs are falling asleep again. Damn it. And the same booktuber that brought the television book to my attention brought this one to my attention too. It's called Gödel Escher Bach. Gödel Escher Bach. Pretty thick thing. Douglas Hofstadter. Seems like it'd be pretty involved reading. It said a lot of people don't get past the first chapter. Every now and then I like hard things to read like this. Next is the some books in that DK series again that I started before. I've shown off before. Got some more of them. This is the art one. Next is math. Then you got poetry and philosophy. Yeah. From what I can make out from flipping through all these, they seem to be pretty good summaries of the top. You know what I'm getting at. Next is called that book by Dale Esty, A Lost Tale. Says, for 2 generations the tale has been whispered about a rite of druid magic more ancient than the standing stones that awoke sleeping powers on the quiet Isle of Man and protected Britain through the darkest nights of Hitler's war. This one came pretty much falling apart, and I had to put tape all over it. Apparently, it was stored in a very dry area, and the cover was just falling apart and brittle as heck. Yeah, I didn't do very much on the front cover. I'm sure it'll start falling apart pretty soon. This was already mentioned. It already done in the listing, but this was the cheapest copy I could find. So at least with this interesting cover, anyway. I mean, a unicorn attack on the flag. Next is another Frank Herbert book from that other Herbert lot that I ordered. The Dragon in the Sea. I'm not sure if I've ever heard of this one before, seeing this in that lot. So, the next is one I stumbled upon, Ralph Mann Farley, The Radio Beasts. Basically a book about another big bug versions. Big book about big bugs and people. A lot of people that have bug traits like antenna and whatnot, I guess, and a war of those, I guess, something along those lines. And I collect a lot of bug and animal books. Is another topic I have a lot of, so kind of had to have this too. Next is another one's been on my list for a while, and I finally got around to ordering it. Buzzkill by Jeff Jacobson. Basically about giant wasps or something like that. Another one, I know it's got a lot of text on the back and a lot of glare. I'm not sure if you can read that, but I'll try anyway. Next is another one that a lot of booktubers are talking about, at least the science fiction ones. C.L. Moore's Jirel of Jory. Collects I think all of the associated stories. I thought there was a table of contents. I don't remember seeing one. Huh. It doesn't have a table of contents, but I'll just show you based on the copyright page. Black God's Kiss, Black God's Shadow, Jirel Meets Magic, The Dark Land, In Quest of Starstone, and Hellsguard. I think those are the stories. Next is some more books in the Dark Terrors series. I had 1 and 2 for a while, and then I found out that the series actually went on further. So I got 3. Of course, these are edited by Stephen Jones and David Sutton. Then I got a 5. And this is actually kind of thick. And apparently I got 6 as well. Another one's kind of thick. When I was putting these in my computer, this one was actually shown up as I already had it, but I don't remember seeing it anywhere. When I was going through my books before in the past few months, so I don't know if I do or not. So if I do have it, and I stumble across it, one of these I'm going to have to get rid of. I don't need 2 copies of the same book most of the time. I say that, and I ordered another copy of Felix Salten's Bambi. This is a different one. I'm not sure if this is an earlier or newer than the other one I got. They're all pretty old copies, but what can you say? Like I said, they are old. Let me see if they're not made. These weren't made to last. Let me see. Looks like this one's 29. It's about around the same year as my other copy. Yeah, I got to thinking about Bambi a few weeks ago, and I can't remember what I did with my original copy. So like I do sometimes, I order another one, but in order to make it worth my effort and time, I tried to find one that had a sequel, which this one did, called Bambi's Children. And I figured if the first one was as good as it was, then I'm sure the sequel will be just as good. Let's see. This is 1939. So. And these are the, what you call the wartime edition books, which were at the time of the World War, the Second World War, I think it was, they were limiting publishing books because of the paper and everything. They were using that for saving a lot of that for the war effort, and so there weren't that many books published, I believe, at the time. And so the few that were called wartime editions, as far as I know. And getting a little off topic, and or not really off topic, but on opposite scale things from Bambi, we got Aaron Beauregard's Hallucinations, book of stories of his. It's written in a font. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to read that. It's a weird font. I'm interested in a few things that he's put out, but I can't remember. But I think this might be the first that I've got of his. I'm not sure if I have anything else, but I am interested in a couple others. And another one in the animal attacks genre that I found out about is Russell Braden's The Year of the Angry Rabbit. And there's so yeah. So that yeah, I was gonna say there's a lot of animals that people pick for these attack books, and I didn't think that rabbits were very common. But as far as I know, I think it's my 4th or 5th rabbit book now, where rabbits are attacking people. So apparently, everything's up for grabs as far as animal attacks now. Of course, we all remember that scene in that Monty Python movie. Run away, run away. And last but not least is a couple of Chuck Tingle books that I finally got around to ordering. We got a Lucky Day and Camp Damascus. I don't go for too many of his. If I'm going to read any of the Tingleverse books, I guess you call them, then I'll probably do that as an ebook. I'm not going to order too many of them if I order any at all. But as far as these other novels, yeah, I think I'll probably get a lot of them. There is one other one I'm thinking about getting, but I haven't done so yet. Oh, by the way, for some reason this one came signed. That happens to me quite a bit. I think I've mentioned that before. Signatures just happen to find me sometimes because I order so many. I don't think any of these books have at least not enough books listed by him that I can't remember the other one that I'm thinking of. I think it's like a choose your own adventure type book that he put out. I think that's something along those lines. Can't remember exactly what the title is. These don't show it. Something to do with the devil or something like that. But If you know it, then you know it. But I'm sorry, I don't remember it. And this video is about the same length as the other one, so at least I'm glad it's not too much longer. Don't want to waste anybody's time, but still try to provide interesting content for you to watch if you like books. So there's this haul. If you watch this far, I thank you. I hope I entertained you a little bit, gave you something to think about or something to look for yourselves. So I appreciate you. I hope the world's treating you nice, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.